All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening and welcome to today's session. We are really excited to have everyone joining today. This is our very first, formal community event, and we have a topic that is dear to us we'll be speaking about today. And this is transitioning from manual to software documentation, right? So, but before we go into all of that, I'm just going to give a brief introduction. So welcome to Afiari's community event in January 2026, and this is the first one for the year. And, just to give you a brief summary about what Afiari is and what we do. So Afiari is a software company, and we provide software to retail, wholesale, distributor types of businesses. We provide business management software for them to be able to manage their business processes, from purchasing to inventory to sales to customers management, everything end to end that they will need to really build, grow, and scale their businesses. In terms of the software that they will need to record those information and ensure that they know exactly what is going on in their business. That is what we offer. That is what we do. And, it is quite interesting that we are actually going to be talking about moving from manual to software because, of course, this is a big pain for a lot of people that run physical businesses today, whether you are an importer or you are a distributor or you're a wholesaler or you're a retailer or you sell, goods without any of these tags, or maybe you even receive goods from a manufacturer and the rest of them, but you sell physical products. This session is really for you, right? Because today we are going to be looking at, for you that probably you've not exactly used software before, or maybe you have used in the past, but it was chaotic, or perhaps maybe the kind of business that you operate is not the one that has, very good structure today, right? So because of the way our markets are, the way, business goes, sometimes we might have a lot of difficulty in navigating this transition. And that is why we are having the event today, right? So that we can share, we can learn, we can discuss, we can ask questions, and of course, we can make amends where we need to. So welcome to today's session, once again, to everyone that we have on the call. And we have an amazing speaker with us today, Blessing Bossman. She's going to be talking to us about this very beautiful topic. And I'm sure that by the end of the session today, that every one of us would have gotten something meaningful that we can take back to our businesses to improve our processes, to improve what we do. Okay, so we are going to be calling her up shortly. But before I do that, I'm just going to quickly read through her profile so that she can come on stage and begin to speak with us. So just give me a minute. Let me quickly read through her profile. All right, so meet our speaker. Okay, so this is great. So Blessing Bossman is a growth marketer and business transformation consultant who helps founders to put the right systems, strategies, and structures in place to scale without chaos, right? So, I mean, this is already very great to see that she's helping people to actually scale their businesses without chaos. She's known for turning complex business challenges into clear, actionable frameworks that drive sustainable growth. Through her work, Blessing has helped multiple organizations scale operations, build better internal processes, improve team performance, and increase revenue. So this is this is just very amazing that we're having Blessing today coming to speak with us. And I'm really excited and I'm really happy to see what she will be sharing with us and how exactly all of us are going to be enjoying the session. So hi Blessing, I don't know if you can hear me. Please could you say hi to the community?
Hello everybody, good evening. Hi Chigozie, thank you so much for having me.
All right, thank you for joining us today. Okay, so I'm going to be leaving the floor in the next minute for Blessing. So I'm going to just be bringing on Blessing on board to say, Blessing, please take the stage. And yes, let's put our hands together. I'm seeing a lot of applauses. People are clapping their hands. Sorry, please, before we go ahead, I'm just seeing someone raise their hand. Hi, Gabriel, good evening. I don't know if you want to say something or you want to react to the message. Okay, I think the hand is off now.
Good,
All right.
good evening.
Okay,
I
yeah,
was
do you want to say
actually
something?
reacting to the message. Sorry, that was the wrong icon I
Oh,
used.
okay, all right, great. So please, let's put our hands together. Let's, roll the drums as we make welcome Blessing Bossman to the stage. Please take it from.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for having me here. Thank you, Chigozie. Thank you to everybody. So we're gonna make very good use of our time, and I'm gonna go ahead to share my screen with you. Now, just as I do that, I would like to get to meet you. So maybe you can get to tell me what you do. So just drop it in the chat. Let me know what you do before I get into my presentation. So I'm going to be reading the chat. Tell me the kind of business that you run, because I want to make this very, very practical, and I want to make it very fit for your business. So when you leave this session, you know that you're actually gaining value that you can implement in your business today, tomorrow, whenever you decide to implement it. Okay, I'm waiting. Okay, Shalom says she runs a jewelry business. Beautiful. Waiting to get more before we proceed. You can just drop it in the chat. Just tell me the business that you do. Just drop it in the chat. But you guys don't run businesses. Is it only the founder that is running a business? I know that Shalom runs a jewelry business. Who else? Okay, awesome. At GoBad Divine Lighting, we offer lighting solutions, chandeliers, solar lights, lighting accessories. Awesome, beautiful. Okay, so now let's go right into the subject of transitioning from manual documentation to software documentation. The question you may even, first of all, I think we need to ask ourselves is why? Like why do we need to do software documentation? Is it necessary? I've known how to run a business for, there's some people that will say, oh, I've been running my business for 20 years. This is a generational business. It was passed down from my grandfather to my father, and then my father took up the business, and then my father passed it on to me. So why should I now start moving away from what my parents have always done? The business has survived all through these years. Nothing happened to it. Why should I move away from it? Now, let me ask you a very simple question. The customers that your grandfather served and the customers that your father served, there's a high possibility that 80–90% of those people are not your current customers. It could be that you still have some few people based off relationship that have been built over time. They still keep coming, right? But there's also a high chance that 70–90% of the people that have known the business over time are probably not coming to patronize you. And the reason for that is because there was no place, there was absolutely nothing to document their data and to follow up with them properly and to create a retention plan for them. Now, that's me even jumping the gun, but I'm just trying to show you that it is easier when you have like a system, when you have a software that helps you in taking customer data. That's just even one benefit that it does for you. So there's so many things that this conversation will help us do, right? This conversation will help us understand why it is important for us to have a software that we use in documenting our processes. It will help us to understand why it is important for us to stop doing things the manual way and start embracing technology. We are all in business to make profit. We are all in business to make revenue. So if there are things that would make your business better, I think that it is something that people should embrace. Let's look at the evolution of work. There was a time where work was in the industrial age, where the way people used to work was based off machines, was based off manual processes and all of that. Then came scientific method, where we had a lot of scientists, we had a lot of people that were doing light bulb, like they were just different processes. And then came technology age. So with the advancement of humans, with the advancement of time, comes the advancement of how work should be done. If as a business owner, your entire operations is dependent on just you, it's in your head or it's in a book, then you are not running a business. You're running a business that if anything happens to you today, that business is going to die. You are running a business that is not going to be scalable. You are running a business that is not going to outlive you. You are running a business that is going to be solely dependent on you. One of the problems that I always hear founders say is, my staffs don't know what they are doing, or everything in my business depends on me. If I travel today, this business cannot survive. I had a client, he has 3 different shops in here in Lagos or in Nigeria. He has one in Alaba, he has another in Lekki Aziz, and he has one out of Lagos. He traveled to China to purchase because he deals on industrial machines. And during that his trip, he told me that, Blessing, this is the first time since I have ever traveled or left my business that things are working smoothly without me being involved. What changed? What changed was that he had proper processes and he had people that was able to step in and help him manage his business. Businesses that rely on manual documentation, businesses that rely on manual processes, these are businesses that cannot scale. Why? Because your entire operations is weak, there is chaos, there is waste, and your business is dependent on people. Now, let's even ask ourselves, what does it mean to have a manual documentation? Let's say you said, okay, manual documentation does not scale. What scales is that you have it on a software. Okay, so what does manual documentation look like? What does it even mean? So have manual documentation, or what I like to call it, to have manual processes in your business, is when your business relies on pen and paper. When your business relies on you. When your business relies on spoken words. When your business relies on human discretion. That's what it means to have, especially for people that have brick and mortar businesses. Think about it. Recently, we heard of the fire outbreak that happened at Balogun Market. Lots of businesses were involved in that, right? Some people even died. God bless their soul, right? And imagine someone, let's take a business owner, for example, his entire customer list is written on a book. Due to that fire outbreak, I'm very sure that everything there will burn, right? Or let's take the normal regular business owner. You have a shop somewhere and probably you have pests in your shops. The place that you keep your book, rat is more likely to eat that note. I've had situations where I've seen people where rats will get into their shop and eat their book. Even when we were kids growing up as students, we've had situations where our notebooks is either water we pour on the notebook and we have to start transferring what we have written in that book into another, or we'll have our younger siblings tear the book. Something will just happen. Our books never lasted because it's book. It's not in a place that cannot be destroyed. These are things that can be easily destroyed, like your notebooks. Also, in your brain, you will forget. As a business owner, there are 1 million and one thing that you're thinking of. You're thinking of so many things. First of all, you're thinking about your business. You're thinking about your family. You're probably thinking about yourself. You're thinking about your children. You're thinking of your grandparents, your mother. You have so many worries, so many burdens. Now, imagine that you have to now rely on your brain for you to run your business. If one staff leaves, it means that the way things are being operated, especially when you have one particular staff that is like the star of your business, they are the people that one person can come into your business and they will change how your business is being run. And you will depend so much on that person. You feel like, oh my God, God has sent this person to me. Now, certain situations might happen where that person is even misbehaving. You cannot let go of that person because you feel like that person is doing so much for the business. You feel like the person understands your business. Even if the person crosses your boundary, you will still allow the person to stay because you can't. This is what happens when you have manual documentation. This is what happens when your business is operating on those vibes, when you have no processes in place, when you have no systems in place. You rely on people. You can't fire your staff because if you fire your staff, how will that business run? Or today, one staff will come, this other, they will leave, and then you have to hire new people. And the new people that you're bringing into the business, you have to explain to them again what the business is about, how to take inventory, how to take stock, how to do this, how to do that, how to keep records. You have to explain all of that process all over again. To me, that sounds so burdensome. Like, that's a whole lot of work. And that's the process that a lot of brick and mortar businesses need to start moving away from. If you have a business and everything that you are doing relies on you, relies on your brain, relies on other people, relies on you putting it in a notebook, you are running a business that is more likely to collapse if anything happens to you. Because these are things that cannot be transferred. These are things that cannot be automated. These are things that cannot be moved. They can be easily destroyed. So there are so many downsides to running a business on a manual process. It's not scalable. If you're looking at, oh, okay, we want to open a new branch in Ghana. How are you going to open a new branch in Ghana? How are you going to do that? Or let's even say here in Nigeria, okay, we want to be able to open a new branch in, let's say, on a different city like Delta State or Port Harcourt or Abuja. How are you going to do that when your processes is reliant on manual documentation? Manual documentation does not allow you scale. Manual processes does not allow you to grow as a business owner because every single thing is now tied around you. Like I said, it feels, number one, the books can get damaged. Information is difficult to retrieve. There are no backup. It is heavily dependent on individual. There's a lot of repetitive work and there is no reliable data. I think these last two are something that I want to pick because I think I've touched on the rest for what trying to explain manual documentation. Repetitive work in the sense that this same process that you have done today, tomorrow you will do it again. I think in one of my slides, I gave an example. Let me quickly go there so that I will show you what that looks like. It's a perfect example of repetitive process. There's an hospital, a case study. I have a hospital, Get Well Soon Hospital. And this is very popular in a lot of hospitals. If you go there, especially public hospitals, some private hospitals have upgraded, but public hospitals, this is very, very popular. You get to the hospital and they ask you, what is your name? You see them writing, they have one kind of very big brown book. You see them writing your name, your phone number, your next of kin, your this, your that. And after they are done writing it in that book, they will bring their hospital card and then they will write that same information in the hospital card and they've opened a card for you in the hospital. Fine, you've collected the card, you've done all the visitation. Come back in the next 2 weeks. 1 month is even too far. Come back in the next 1 week, 2 weeks, and you say, oh, I have issues and all of this thing. I want to see a doctor. They will still ask you, okay, what is your name? They're documenting it again. My name is this, my name is that, my phone number. Why? Because the way they take records is by writing it down. Repetitive work. That is what we call repetitive work because, number one, they have no process. They have no data keeping software. They have nothing to keep your data. And they will keep on doing that same thing over and over and over again. And I'm very, very sure all the books that are there, what they will do with it is once it's filled up, they'll carry it and go and burn it and buy more books. Waste. That's what we call waste. Second thing is no reliable data. How do you tell that your business is actually growing if you don't have data? How do you know how many people are returning as customers? How do you know what people are actually buying? What are your best-selling goods? How do you know some of the things that, what does the trends look like? What does the data look like for your business? You won't be able to know if everything you are doing is done manually. Because how do you come back to your notes and start looking at records from, let's say, two months ago? Sometimes even that book may be lost. Your children must have thrown it away, or you must have even forgotten it, because those things are already gone. You have no reliable data, and business decisions are made of data. If you're a business owner, you're not making decisions of data, and you're just making decisions of assumption. Your business is going to you're literally just going to do the things that you want to do without having the absolute or the concrete reasons as to why you should do that. And businesses don't scale on assumptions. Businesses don't grow on assumptions. The best businesses and the businesses that we see today that scale, that grow, they make their decision off the data their business provides them. And that's the same thing that you need to do if you really want to grow. Now, the second case study I have here, which a lot of you might be familiar with because you are retail business owners, right? Emeka and Sons. He has a retail business. He sells his products through Instagram. Now, one mistake you should not make is to think that having to put your business on social media is you having the proper process for your business. Just because you are using social media doesn't mean that you have the right processes. Doesn't mean that your business has been automated. Doesn't mean that you have introduced technology in how your business is going to function. Social media is not the determinant of that. Social media is a place where you gain more visibility. It's more like going to the market and telling people I am here. So when you put your business on socials, you're letting people know that, oh, I exist. This is what I have to sell. But it still doesn't mean that that business cannot be reliant on the manual documentation process. I see a lot of businesses, SMEs on social media that they are doing really big. But one of the things or the mistake that they make is still to rely on manual processes to run that business. And that's why a lot of them cannot scale beyond. Take a look at this lady. I know that recently she came under a lot of backlash. Her name is Fine Funky. How is Fine Funky able to deliver hundreds and thousands and millions of goods to our customers? Sometimes we just see how Fine Funky is able to go to China, do pre-order. We just see all of that. But one thing that we forget to ask is, what is the process behind this scale? Because what she has done is to scale her business. If Fine Funky, all she did in taking customer record was notebook and pen, you see this dragging that they dragged down would have been small. Because imagine that those books got lost. That would have been the end. But because Fine Funky had put proper systems in place, she was able to undo the entire delivery. Even though it was slow, but there was a process in place. She had done that back work in order for her to scale. So it's not enough to just have your nice Instagram page, or sometimes what I now see, some people now have websites. The presence of a website does not mean you've transitioned from manual to software. And this is why I think a lot of people get it wrong. Yes, having a website is the first step. It's a good, not really the first step, but it's a good step. But if your website is not even set up to be able to follow through the entire process, then you just have a fancy entry point, or you have a fancy database where people can come and look at the products and services that you have to offer. That's literally what it is. I tell people, especially when I'm doing systems work for organization, I let them know having your systems documented is a great step. It's good, you have done well. But if these systems are not being automated, if these systems, if the right tool is not being introduced in order for you to run your business effectively, if these systems are not being compliant and enforced, you don't have systems. You just have processes on a notebook. And a lot of businesses have processes on notebook that are not being followed. So when we are talking about you moving from manual processes to introducing technology, software into your business, you need to see it beyond just the tech. It is beyond the tech. The tech is the tool that you use in automating the work. But the first step that you need to ensure you need to put in place is to having the right process in place and then using the technology to automate that process. I'll come into that, but let's look at this next case study that we have. One of the challenges that Emeka and Sons have is that it's limited to Instagram DMs, right? People will send him a message and that's how he will send their order. He will follow up with them and all of that. But what happens after that first sale? And it is what happened after the first sale of a lot of small business owners. Once you make your first sale, that is the end. Don't go back to follow up. How can you even go back to follow up, especially for those kind of businesses that are doing a lot of ads, right? How can you even go back to follow up when you have a lot of ads that are running and then messages upon messages and you lose track of those DMs? You have a lot of ads that are running, right? So you can't follow up properly. Now, what happens when these businesses introduce a proper system, proper software into their organization? Let's take, for example, Get Well Soon Hospital. Now, if this Get Well Soon Hospital introduce a digital patient management system, is that all their patient information will be carefully tracked and stored. This will allow their staff to easily retrieve the record, track patient history, and send follow-up and reminder messages. If they are just the book and the pen that they were using to write all of this, there is no way they can track that, oh, Blessing came to the hospital. Blessing is a recurring, no, God forbid I be a recurring patient. But Blessing came to the hospital, and Blessing still needs us to be able to give her a card. So they don't need to write my name again. They literally don't need to write my name again, and all they have to do is to ensure that they pull up my data and I am good to go. That's literally what's going to happen. But these systems are only possible when they have the right processes in place. This system is only possible when they have the right digital patient management system. That way they are able to track my information and they're able to know that, okay, Blessing came to this hospital. Blessing is a recurring, I don't know why I keep saying that, but not me. The other person is a reoccurring patient, and then they will be able to follow up adequately. What happens is that this hospital has been able to improve their operational efficiency. They stop relying on the manual process. They've reduced repetitive work. They've even increased the experience of that patient. There's this hospital I went to in Delta State called Western Clinic. I went there for a consultation, and in getting to the hospital, they asked me for my details. I filled my details. They have their own patient system and all of that. After filling my details, I received a message from them that my appointment has been booked with the consultant that I wanted to see. I was surprised because that was literally the first time in my life that I had been to a hospital that had that kind of system. I was like, oh, this is really amazing. But the time I wanted to see the consultant, I went in, I saw the consultant after every single thing. Would you believe that these people sent me a follow-up message? Oh, Blessing, how was your session? Can you give us a feedback? Can you rate us? I was like, is this how people used to do? It literally increased my likeness for that hospital. And when I had a aunt that needed medical care, I referred her to that hospital and told her to go and book for a consultation there. And the reason for that is because of how I felt while visiting them, the entire process. And it will make me want to go there another time or refer other people there. When you have a proper process, a proper system in place, and it is technology driven, you are able to get people to experience your business in a better way. You increase your efficiency. You are not just operating like your competitors. You are making people see your business in a better life. You're giving them a better experience. See, businesses is experience first. Let me tell you that business is experience first. There are so many people selling the things that you are selling. There are so many people doing the things that you are doing. But what would make me buy from you tomorrow is that you are giving me the best experience that your competitor cannot give to me. That is business. Why do you think people go to a particular restaurant over and over again? Why do you think people go to a particular hotel over and over again? Why do you think people visit certain places over and over again? It is not literally because of what they are selling. It is because of how they feel when they go there. Whoever is able to give the best experience to their customer is that person that wins and keeps people. We live in a city like Lagos. Lagos is a city that has to do with a lot of experience. If you are treating your customer bad, everybody will leave you. Everybody will literally leave you. If you are the one shouting on your customers, you are the one treating people with arrogance, you are the one not following. Like, if you would delay, like a lot of times people say it on socials, like, I'm talking to this business owner and it takes her 1 year to respond. If you're ever behaving like that, people are going to leave you. They're going to go to the next person that's willing to answer them, give them the best experience. And sometimes it's not about the money. It's not about the money. If you're even selling your product at a more expensive rate, you'll be surprised that people would even come to you as long as you give them the best experience. Experience is key. And experience can only be consistent when you have the right systems in place. There is no way you can give the right experience to your customer if you are relying on manual processes. Because you have different staffs, different people. The different people will treat your customers in different ways. The way customer service person A will respond to your DMs is not the way customer service person B will respond to the DMs. Why? It's because you literally left them, they're taking their shifts and they're doing whatever they want to do on your socials. Even you as the business owner, let's say you are the one who responding to customers. Do you have a process for that? How do you know, okay, this is the right way to even get that done? And how do you transfer it to the staff that you are employing to be able to do it in a consistent pattern? And that's why you will see that you go to a restaurant today, the way they treat you today is different. You go tomorrow, you say, what kind of nonsense restaurant is this? The way they treated you is totally different. Then you now start asking, did you change your staff or did you change your manager? That's why hotel business, restaurant business, you see them booming. Whoever is able to give the best experience, those are the people that win. Now, let's look at the case study we talked about, Emeka and Sons, right? So Emeka now introduced a website which has an integrated order and inventory system that captures customer emails, their phone number at checkout. Now, what does this do for Emeka and Sons? First of all, it gives him access to the customer data. And what this has even done in the first place is to improve the business. Like I said, is to improve follow-up communication. It enables him to do retargeting campaign. It helps him to increase repeat purchasing and gain better visibility into his inventory and sales performance. Now, I'm going to break all of these down to explain what all of these concepts mean. When I say improve follow-up communication, because of the data that Emeka and Sons have been able to capture, he's able to now say, oh, okay, all the people that have bought from us in the last 2 months or in the last 1 month, we want to send them an email or we want to send them an SMS. In sending them that email or SMS, he's been able to follow up with them and keep his business at the top of mind. Businesses do not end when someone buys from you once. You can literally make someone buy from you over and over again. And the way to do that is by having a proper follow-up system in place. And that should be embedded into the data collection system that you are using for your business. The second thing he's able to do is to enable retargeting campaign. Now, a lot of people may not be familiar with this because this is more like an ad term. If you run meta ads, you'll be familiar with this. Retargeting campaign literally means that people who have seen your ad or interacted with your ads before or interacted with your page, your website, they can see you over and over and over again just because you are running a retargeting ad. That's why you probably see somebody's ad on social media and it seems like the ad is chasing you up and down. The person is probably running a retargeting ad. The goal of that retargeting ad is to keep appearing in your page. And the only way to run a retargeting ad is if you have the right data. Number one, you should have Pixel installed on your website. And if people are going to the website, you're able to run a retargeting campaign to everybody that has visited your website. Aside that, you can also use the email and the phone number of your customers. You can take that data, upload it on Meta, and run a retargeting campaign with that. So you see how data, I think the bottom of every single thing that I'm talking about is data. With data, you will make more money. With data, you will know where to increase your inventories. With data, you will know how to make your business better. Look at increased repeat purchases. How is that being increased? Probably with the follow-up system in place. How does he gain better visibility into his inventory and sales performance? Data. The data shows, we have X number of goods that are fast moving. People are buying more standing lamp to roof lamp. People are buying more chandeliers to normal bulb. People are buying more round earrings or silver earrings to gold earrings. These are the insights that your data will start giving you. There is no way your manual process can give you all of these insights, except you want to go and, back in the days, they used to have this, how did they used to do? They used to have these auditors, or they used to have some business people back in the day. I used to pity those guys, because tell me how you're going to look through the books of businesses, look through their plenty book, and just to be able to make data-driven. That must be like a whole lot of work for those people. But yeah, this is one of the benefits when you now have proper systems in place. The hidden cost of manual process is that you forget to do follow-up. And if you're not doing follow-up, then that means, I don't know what you're doing. That means you don't want business. Because with follow-ups, you'll be able to have more people, or the people that have bought for you, to buy from you over and over again. Also, your customers are not being retained intentionally. Also, your staff work is based off their personal judgment. Now, imagine you have a very lackadaisical staff. Or imagine you hire someone that is very chilled, laid back. There are just some kind of nonchalant people that we tend to hire. Imagine you hire a very nonchalant person. The person is going to run your business based off their mood. If they have mood swing today, they'll come to business like, I just want to chill. Customer is talking to me, but no customer should be disturbing me. You can have those kind of people. And if your business does not have a proper operating system in place, you're going to leave your business in the hands of the people that are very lackadaisical and nonchalant, and that's not a good way to run a business. Also, another hidden cost is that you, the founder, the business now become dependent on you. So you are literally the business itself. That's what it then means. It means that you are literally the business itself. So you become the system of the business. Instead of the business to have a system that it's running on, you, the founder, you are now the system. You are now the system that the business is running on, and that's extremely chaotic and not the place that I want you to be in. Which is why it is important for you to transition into software documentation. Now, let's even look at the meaning of software documentation. What this simply means is using technology to document your processes, using technology to digitize your operation, using technology to create repeatable, trackable workflow, and allowing systems to drive execution. Is that you are able to use tech, you are able to use software to document how your business is going to run, that the business is not living in your head, that you are not relying on all the information that you probably, when you sleep in the night, say, I thought about one new thing, that you are not relying on all of those things that are in your head to run your business, but you are relying on the documented process, giving it to other people and ensuring that they are compliant with it to run your business. You are also digitizing your operations. You are using that software to automate your operations. And what this does for you is that it creates repeatable patterns. Is that we move from point A to point B to point C. It's not that somebody will wake up today and the way they decide that they want to start from is point C. Is how I feel, that's how I want to do. No, it's that people know that I have to do A, to do B, to do C. One of the things that I've done in my organization is to create processes everywhere. And for me, I am very dogmatic when it comes to my process. I am extremely dog. Like if there's anything I will hold dearly for my life is my process, and I will enforce it. Recently, HR was trying to hire, and then she was like, "Oh, I've done first stage interview with the internal team. I want to send the person the contract." And I asked her, "Is that what our process is? Is it that who makes the decision now is the team member?" She was like, "Oh, the team lead said that she can go ahead if the person is." I said, "No, it is about processes. What is the process in hiring interns?" Because we wanted to hire an intern. What is the process in hiring intern? Is that we have the first stage interview with someone in the team, which is more like the technical, we're analyzing the person's technical ability. Then the second stage is that we are having it with the team lead. You must ensure that the team lead makes the final decision on who to be hired for our department or his department. I had to enforce it. I was like, "No, go and speak to the team lead." She went to speak to the team lead and scheduled another meeting with the person and the team lead, and they made their decision. But if you want to hire like normal, probably like top leadership staff and all of that, I make the final decision for that, and it's a 3-stage interview process. These are repeatable patterns. It's not that tomorrow another HRO will not come to our company and say that, "Oh, the way me I used to do my interviews, that me HRO, I will speak to the person. If I like the person, I will bring the person into the organization." From where to where now? No. Is that we have a process already in place, and we have tested this process, and there's a reason behind the process. Now, don't get me wrong, and especially for founders, do not create bottlenecks all in the name of processes. Do not create bottlenecks all in the name of transitioning your business from manual to software. The mistake that you will make is that you want to suffer people just because you are trying to use technology. Your processes should be simple. Your processes should be easily understandable. Your processes should not be so chaotic. If something is supposed to be a 2-stage thing, don't go and do 10 steps because you want to create processes and say, "Oh, it must follow like this." For me, I don't even create processes by myself. Processes is something that you have to sit with your team and you guys decide together how you want this thing to work, how you want your flow to go. When a customer comes in, what do we do? When we deliver order, what do we do? After this, like, what is the next stage? These are things that everybody needs to have an input. I'm not what do they call it? In Nigeria, we say we practice democracy, but truly we are not very democratic as a nation. I'm a very democratic leader. So you as a business owner, you should understand that the success of your business is not dependent on you. You are the very least factor in how that business will succeed. Like a lot of times, I think that founders tend to hype themselves too much. But we forget that if we do not have the right system and the right people that will run our business, our ideas will die. Literally, that idea that you have in your head will die. You cannot run a business by yourself. You cannot carry the vision by yourself. You need people. So you need to ensure that whatever system, whatever process you are creating it with people. That's how you grow. That's how you scale. That's how you build a business that goes beyond you. And this happens to, like, this is applicable to all kind of business, not even just brick and mortar. Even if you run, like, let's say a service-based business, this is very, very applicable to you, right? If you are able to introduce software documentation into your business, one of the things that helps you do is to digitize and ensure consistency. This helps you in ensuring consistency, continuity, reduce reliance on individuals, and you having better control and visibility into your business. Now, the question that we're going to ask is, if all of these benefits that we have, like, okay, ensuring that we have better follow-up system, we are reducing human error, we're able to ensure that performance are being tracked, easier onboarding, scalable operations, and data visibility, how then do we transition? Blessing, I've heard you. You've said, okay, I've understood the benefits of all of this. I've seen that, okay, my business is too much, is very, very dependent on me. But I need to start moving my business away from being dependent on me to having a system that can hold my business and people can run it. How then do I do that? Before I tell you that, one of the things that I want to show you is data. Right? I want to show you data. I want to explain this data visibility to you and why data matters a lot and why data is anchored to the success of your business. The biggest source of truth that you can ever have is data. The biggest source of truth to know if your business is working or if your business is failing is data. Data will show you what is going wrong. Data will show you what you are doing right. Data will show you where you need to improve. Data will show you if you are ready to scale. Data will show you if that business is going to die. You see, data, guard it with all your life. If your business, you are not currently collecting data for your business, I don't know how you are making your decisions. With data, you remove a lot of guesswork. With data, you stop reacting emotionally. One of the things that I did for my organization, when they gave me the role, when I stepped in as the managing director of, okay, I think I didn't really tell you guys what I do. Maybe you explained what I do, but I didn't tell you like where I work. So I work as the managing director of a tech company, Distributors. One of the things that I did when I came in was to look at what was working and what was not working. And one of the key things that I saw was that we were having more people request for refunds. We're having people not being satisfied with service delivery. We're having people having one complaint or the other. Now, I know that for every business owner, one of the things that you're looking to do is, oh, let us put money in ads, let us make more money. And that's not what I did. I didn't just say, oh, let us start making money. How can you start making money when people are complaining about certain things in your business? The first thing I did was to fix all of that problem. And how did I fix it? First of all, I ensured that we removed our refund policy because the data showed me that more people were asking for refund. Why were they asking for refund? There's a problem somewhere. They now told me that, oh, they had a refund policy that you can request for refund after 7 days. Nigerians are very funny people. Why are you requesting for a refund? Some people will attend the class. They don't say, hey, I don't want to do it again. Nigerians are very, very fun. They have silly excuses as to why they want to. Somebody will pay something today. Tomorrow they will tell you that, hey, can I request for a refund? Emotion, sentiment. The first thing I did was to remove that refund policy. If you are not sure about taking this program, go somewhere else. Since we removed that refund policy, I've never heard anybody come to us and say, oh, I want a refund again. Before that week when I joined, it was back to back. I want a refund, back to back. Since then, I've never heard anybody say, I want a refund. And that was not just where I ended. The next thing I did was to also ensure that our customer experience was good. Why were they actually requesting for a refund? How can we put certain systems in place to ensure that we couple all of this? And that was what data gave to me. If you don't have the right data in place, you will just be making decisions based off your assumption, what you think, what you feel. And as business owners, trust me, we have a lot of ideas. As entrepreneurs, ideas live in our head. Ideas are like water. Ideas are like food. You will sleep, you wake up, you have one new idea, one new future, one new this, one new thing to add. There is always one new thing. Let us start buying this type of, because you see people that are selling that particular thing, that's what you want to start selling. But have you really looked at the data to see how many customers are actually even requesting for that? Have you looked at did your data say people are requesting for that? That's why you want to start buying or stocking that kind of goods in your shop? These are questions that we need to ask ourselves. If your data does not reveal that, don't go and buy things and then at the end of the day, you'll be stuck trying to sell out your goods. Now, how do we successfully transition from manual to software? I think I like my slides a lot. I like all of this animation and all of that. But yeah, let's move on. How do we successfully transition from manual to software? The first thing that you need to do is to identify key processes. You see, I did not say the first thing you need to do is technology, because you can have tech, but if you don't know what the process is like, tech is just a waste. A lot of times people think that tech is the answer to their problem. Tech is as good as you understand what problem you want it to solve for you. If you don't know what problem you want tech to solve for you, you are just wasting your money. Tech is as good as you know what problem you want it to solve for you. So the first thing you need to do is, what problem do I even want to solve? What problem is my business going through? How am I currently selling? How am I currently storing inventory? How is sales being done? How is operations being done? How is production being done? All of these processes are areas that you need to identify. Once you are able to identify all of these key processes, the next thing you need to do is document how you want it to run. Because it is from the documentation that you are able to implement it into the technology. From the documentation, you're able to take it into tech and say, okay, from point A to point B to point C to point D. And you are also able to give that to your staff, and they know that, okay, once they are using the tech, it is from point A to point B to point C to point D. So you have to document the process. If a customer sends a message on Instagram or wherever they send a message, this is what we need to do. Or if order gets to 50, if a particular product order gets to 20, it means that it is time for us to stock up. And how do we stock up? We ensure that we raise an invoice to the inventory manager. Then the inventory manager goes to the production manager, goes to the warehouse. You just know all of it. Who are over the right key people to meet across all of these processes? These are things you need to ask. I had a client that he runs an e-commerce business, but they are more of manufacturers that they produce tea, they produce wellness tea. And one of the problems that he complained to me about is that they are making sales. Because they do really well in sales, but he wants to make more money. And in order for him to make more money, he knows that he needs to have certain systems in place in his business. He feels like sometimes people are just doing whatever they want to do. Customer service, they will not pick call, they will not do this, they will not do that. I said, okay, wait, the first thing I will speak to everybody. I started speaking to every single person in his organization in different departments, and I clearly saw the disalignment. I saw all the barriers as to why things are not running smoothly. And when we started designing this process, we designed this process from manufacturing of those tea down to when the tea is being sent out to customers, and what even happens after customers have received their tea, because there's a retention process there. When customers receive the tea is supposed to last them within 3 to 6 months. Now, where you will make a mistake is that after that 3 to 6 months, it doesn't find a way to contact those customers again. And customer service would not know to do that. So what we did was, after every 3 months or after every 4 months, those data would be taken up again, and they will be called and sent SMS, and they will be followed up on, in order for them to come back again, because we know that by that time their team must have finished. But how production happened, how raw material is even sent to the warehouse, those are things that we had to document. Who raises invoice? Because a lot of things were dependent on him. He is the one that has to purchase the goods. I was like, no, you cannot be the one purchasing the goods. They need to know the quantity, because if they don't even know the quantity they need to purchase, there's a problem. How do you know the quantity of the raw materials to buy? The raw materials that you are buying, how do you also know that, oh, this raw material produces X number of tea bags? These are all questions we started asking ourselves, and we started documenting it. And the next thing we did was to use the right technology to implement it. And with tech, what it does for you is to create a scalable system, because you are able to impute all your inventories, impute your raw materials. You are able to know what is in. You don't have to go to your shop and go and be counting the goods. Oh, we have 100 this, 100 that. You don't have to go and be counting. If they are bringing you goods to the warehouse, or they are bringing you goods for you, all you just have to do is upload. When it is finished, or when it is getting finished, you already know that, oh, this thing is getting finished, we need to restock. You are looking at it in your inventory list. If customer buys from it, one will remove, you will know it is there. That's why it's technology. It is automated. And the next thing you need to do is to optimize continuously. Don't think that now that you have documented your process, you are using the right tech, that's where it ends. No, it doesn't end there. You have to continue refining your workflow. You have to keep iterating, knowing how to improve, how to make things better. This is how you grow. This is how you scale. Just using the right tech, documenting the process, and not optimizing your workflow is going to make you stagnant, because things will change. Processes are not done once, done forever. That's not what processes are not static. As your business grow, you improve performance. As your business grow, you improve workflow. As your business grow, you try out new initiative, and that's how you continue to optimize for more. You continue to even technology optimize for better. You will see that, oh, we've changed. We've got to version 2 of our product. We've added this new feature. All of these things are to ensure that customers have the right experience, the best experience. Same thing with your business. Just because you have now transitioned to a software doesn't mean that that's the end. No, you have to find better ways to ensure that that software, that technology that you are using is working for you. And that's how you're going to grow your business. And one of the tools that I would recommend for you, especially for brick and mortar businesses, is to try out Afiari, right? Literally the host of this webinar. They have everything you need to run your business. If you're a brick and mortar business, where to upload your inventory, how to have your customer data, to do your accounting. I know that one of the problems that a lot of business owners face is accounting. You see, accounting is a big deal. Don't say, oh, I'm a business owner. All I know how to do is to sell. I don't know how to keep my books. Use it. Learn how to keep your books. Learn how to take stock. Learn how to manage your suppliers. Learn how to manage your customers. Learn how to manage and effectively run your business. And it provides you with the data. If any tool you are exploring does not provide you with data, run away. Quit using that tool. Because like I said, data is gold. Data is what is going to help you make the right buying decisions. So it also provides you with data. And this is where I'm going to end for today. And what I'm going to leave you is if your business depends on memory, your memory, notebook, or individuals, it will struggle to grow. But if your business is dependent on systems and data, I bet you your business will scale beyond you. Majority of the businesses that our forefathers have left, if there are nobody to take up that business, if there are no systems for that business to run, they will die. Imagine you say, okay, this is a transgenerational business, and then your son or your daughter say, oh, I don't want to do this business. I want to do tech, or I want to do something else. Just know that that business is gone with you. But if you have the right systems in place, you can literally let your legacy live on. You can have other people run your business for you. You can travel. One of the things I always advocate for is for founders to have their life, entrepreneurs to have their life. Just because you started a business doesn't mean you should come and die. Doesn't mean you come and kill yourself on top of the business. I see a lot of entrepreneurs not having life because they have businesses, because they are running businesses. If you leave your business today, oh, customers will call me, oh, my staff will. You can literally have a life. I think one of the biggest advocates for work-life integration is me. You will see me that I work Monday to Friday, or even inside that same Monday to Friday set, I will still go out inside of it. I will still find myself in one nice restaurant, one lounge. I will go and enjoy myself. My business will not die. I can decide I will take a day off. I just don't want to work, or I want to travel. I want to do anything I want to do. My business will not die. Why? Systems. There was one time I was so sick, like I couldn't even look at my laptop. If I look at my laptop, I used to have crazy headache. I was sick for 1 full week, and I just resumed. I think that was my 7th week in my new position. What saved me was that when I started with them, the first 4 weeks, the only thing I did was to build systems. That was the only thing I did. I built the systems of the organization in 4 weeks. And by the time I was done, people could make decisions. People could know their left from their right. Because there was a lot of chaos when I came in. But that first 4 weeks, we use it to really define things. Now, if I tell my team that, oh, they don't need me. They don't need me, because majority of, I've trained them to the extent that they make decisions by themselves. And they tell me that, oh, blessing, this is what I did. I was like, okay, no problem. And I trust their decision, and I know where that decision is going to come from. It is because we have a proper process in place. That's where they're going to draw their decision from. Your business is able to scale if you have the right systems in place. And this is where I'm going to end for today. Thank you guys very much.
Oh my goodness. Oh my God. Like this is superb. This is fantastic. This is awesome. This is great. Please put your heads together. Like just respond with your emojis. If you want to love, want to clap, whatever it is, please respond. And yeah, so I'm seeing in the chat, wow, this teaching is superb. Much amazing. I mean, this is really, really great. And so this is really what we are for. This is why we are here. It's not just enough that you have a tool or you paid for a software, but we want it to work for you. We want you to excel in your businesses, and this is why we are organizing events like this, right? So the great thing is we've learned, but at the end of the day, execution is the key. Execution, whatever you are learning from here today, let us not just take it as one of those things that we've learned in the past, but let us pick the information and we can execute on it. We are going to make the recording available, but just make sure that you have the mindset that you want to be accountable, right? You want to enforce what you have learned, right? So it is great that you have seen the real thing, and it is great that you have seen the benefits that you can enjoy when you're moving from manual to software documentation. But without enforcement, without putting the actual process in place, if you have staff that work with you, if you don't put them through this process and let them understand how they can even make their own work easier, or even if you are doing it alone, just sitting down and understanding how you can make your work easier, this is just a great thing here. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, Blessing. This was really, really great. Please, once again, thank you, everybody. Just say thank you to her. We really appreciate you. But before we go ahead, we actually are going to just show you a brief demo of the product. But before we go ahead, I would like to ask, do we have any questions? Or do we have anyone that wants to provide a feedback to Blessing right now before we end up the conversation? So please, if you have any question or maybe you want to say something, please, you can raise your hand and then we'll call you up. But if you also want to put it in the chat, by the way, you can also do that right now. So please, let's hear from you. Do we have any questions? Oh, someone is just joining right now. This is interesting. Okay, do we have any questions? Do we have any questions so far, or do we really understand? Maybe sometimes when you've learned, you probably have a full knowledge or you've gotten full understanding about what was shared. If that's the case, we can just move ahead. But if you have any questions, please just raise your hand. But right now, I'm just going to take the next 3 minutes. This is not a full demo session, but just to take the next 3 minutes. So one of the things that we've learned is that using a software is fantastic, but knowing the software that is for you is also the very beautiful thing. And for us at Afiari, we are not just providing software, but we are providing software for physical businesses. So if you have a shop, you have a warehouse, you have a store, you operate a brick and mortar process, maybe you import products, maybe you're a distributor, any of those kinds of businesses, or you're a wholesaler, any of those kinds of businesses that you operate, we are here to serve you, right? And this is just a snapshot of what the dashboard looks like. So one of the things that we learn is the access to data, right? Understanding your data. That is very, very fantastic. And Afiari gives you access to any type of data that you want in your business. So from understanding, looking at the dashboard and seeing what you get at the end of every business day, that is really something that you can look forward to when you're using our software. And we also send you a report on your WhatsApp at the end of every business day. So at the end of the business day, even when you're going home, you just get a simple snapshot on your WhatsApp to tell you what you made for that day. We also send that at the end of the week. We also send that at the end of the month. We also send you low stock alerts on your WhatsApp as well, so that you are seeing it automatically, just with the items that are now low in stock, so that you can buy them quickly and restock, right? You're able to see your orders, whether they are in-store orders. And by the way, we also give you an online presence or an online store, right? So even if you want to promote by yourself, you can use our link to put your products online, and that syncs directly into your inventory, right? You can handle way bills, you can handle refunds, you can manage your inventory, you can track your customer sales and customer records. So if you even have people that you give products on credit, you can handle all of that and see how much they are owing you, and you can see all of that, those kinds of information from here. You will also get to see your reports, and these reports can be exported. So for example, your sales reports, let me use this sales report as a case study, right? So your sales report here will show you, if you have cashiers or you have staff that sell for you, you will see how much those staff have sold. You will see the payment channels, whether it's cash you receive, transfer, card, or credit. You see the bank accounts that monies have been going into, right? And you can export this data as PDF or as Excel, and you can use it to do whatever it is that you want to use for your business and make better decisions for your business. And this data can be filtered. You can filter it by, a particular cashier. Maybe you want to know what a particular person has sold. You can filter it by a particular product. Maybe you want to see what the performance of a product is over time in your business. You can check a date range, right? And all of those information are things that you can use, you understand, to get more information about your business. So these things are not fairy tales. These things are things that you can apply today in your business if you want to make that transition and if you want to make sure that you are growing. And for some of us that have already had access to it, but we've not fully activated, please, this is the opportunity for us to do that. We are on standby. We are here to make it work for you, and we want you to actually make that process. At the end of the day, this thing is not just about, it's not just about saying that, okay, you want to do it, but you need to be able to enforce it as a business owner, right? So if you do not enforce that process and say that for everybody that wants to buy from me, we must take your record, we must ensure that this sale is documented, all of those kinds of things. If you do not put it in place in your business, then you might not get the full value out of it. So with that, I just want to say thank you so much for to everyone for coming on the call, for joining us in this session. I'm just going to ask again, do we have any questions? Okay, so I'm seeing some things in the chat. Is Afiari a website or software? It is a full business management software. We only also give you a website in addition to it, a mini website, right? Such that you can sell the products that you are selling in your physical store online. And if you do that, you can also, we also have delivery embedded in that, so that if a customer buys from you through that platform, you can share that link with your customers, and if they buy from you, they'll pay online, they'll pay for delivery, everything, and we will pick it up and deliver to your customers. So that is already embedded. The structure of that is that going forward, we are also going to be positioning that as a marketplace, right? But for now, we have not really started pushing that, but it's something that we will be doing very soon. So it's going to be coming out under a new brand name, so that customers can go to it as just the way you have the likes of Gigi or Jumia and the rest of them. They can just find you on those platforms and buy from you. But that does not stop you from using it as your own unique website, right? Where you can just send them to directly. Instead of sending them on WhatsApp and all of those things, you can send them directly on that platform. So I hope that answers the question. So yeah, so thank you so much, everyone, for joining the call. I think it was a very valuable session. Yes, sort of, we can compare it. The only challenge is that, so for people that are physical businesses, especially if you are doing wholesale, retail, you are doing distribution, right? I would say that Afiari will be a better tool for you, right? So it's not just about social commerce, for example, right? If you are selling a form of social commerce business, then maybe that other one will be better. But in this particular case, if you are running a physical business and you have inventory and you have your own physical stock, then this is actually a better option for you. So with that, I'm just going to say thank you so much to everyone. Thank you, Blessing, once again for joining the call. And thank you to all our customers that are here. Thank you to all our newcomers as well that joined us. We are going to be having these sessions, going forward on a regular structure where we are bringing in different speakers to come and speak with you. So please do not neglect these sessions. They're actually going to be open to everyone that wants to join. And this is our own way of giving back to our community and also building our community. So we are going to be having different kinds of things, from business growth to online selling, to other parts of your business that you would need information about to be able to grow and build and do great stuff. So for all of us that are in the community, we will keep in touch and we'll continue to share more information. We will also share the link once we post this on YouTube. We'll share the link with you so you can go back and take it again and just sit on it and really, really consume the information that you got today. So with that, I would say thank you to everyone, and we will look forward to having more sessions and more engagements with you. For now, okay, yes, we are going to add it to the community. All right, for now, I would say a goodbye. If we do not have any other thing right now, we'll say a goodbye to everyone that joined, and we'll see you once again later. Bye for now. Cheers.